We're going to make some risotto, but not the typical risotto because it's a little fattening. So I eliminated everything that's bad in making risotto and just going with, you must love fish, and you will totally enjoy this. All these vegetables, the corn, the carrots, celery, the peppers, the tomato, zucchini, leeks, garlic, shallots, mushrooms, scallions at the end with the zucchini because we don't want mushy zucchini, and your favorite fish cut up in tiny pieces because that's going to go in like the last 2 minutes. That only takes 2 minutes to cook. And in the back there is a pot of excellent fish stock. Why do I say excellent? Because it is. It's made from the bones of the bass, and it is such a sweet, nice flavor. So if you don't have a good fish stock, you can use water, whatever else you want. I'm also not putting any wine in this, and you must be a fish lover and love that fish flavor, because that's what this is totally going to be, except for the vegetables that'll enhance everything. So let me dice everything up. Let's get started. I put olive oil in there on a moderate flame, and we're going to saute everything. This is the way I diced everything up. So if you have a problem dicing this small, which a lot of people do, and you have a Cuisinart, my suggestion would be chop the vegetables in big pieces and pulse them in the Cuisinart. Don't puree them, and you'll get a rough cut. It'll save you a lot of time and band-aids. May look like a lot, but it's not. It's going to shrink. It is heavy on the vegetables. And we're going to put in a tablespoon of salt. It may seem like a lot, but don't forget the risotto is going to grow, and the pepper. This is time consuming, so we're not going to waste all this film on watching me stir the risotto. After about another minute, we're going to slowly add some of the fish stock. Now I have a quart of, like I said, excellent fish stock back there. It might be enough, because as you know, these recipes that I do, I just do them on the fly. So I look at everything and I go, well, that looks to be about the right amount. And I went a little lighter on the risotto. Usually I go too heavy, because this is going to be like a meal for one, and actually one cup of risotto is too much for one person. So after we add the fish at the very end, and you see how much we have in this risotto, I would guess to say that you'd have to double the amount of fish, or put a half a cup of risotto in here. Because after I eat this tonight, it's getting late already, my wife will come home and she'll have some. So it's not just for me. Remember, this is a healthy risotto without the cream, which a lot of people don't put in, and the cheese, which everybody puts in, and the wine, which a lot of people put in, and the butter, which you usually always put in. But with a good fish stock, this is going to be super flavorful. Actually, what happens is, as you're eating the risotto with a good fish stock, you're enjoying the flavor and not paying attention that there's any fish in there. Because it's the stock that makes this, not the fish. Fish is only in there so you see that it's fish and you can bite into it, but you're really tasting this delicious stock all the time. So what I'm going to do is cut the film now. If you notice, there's liquid in there, and I'm going to keep on stirring like this. And when the liquid gets down a little bit more, I'm going to add some more stock. Keep on going like that until this is done. And also a moderate flame now. We don't have to have this thing rapidly cooking. What will happen is it'll reduce the stock quickly and you'll be out of stock. So cook it slow. If you notice it's reduced, got to add more stock, because nothing above the liquid is going to cook well. And that stock was hot, so it makes it easier here. It just keeps simmering. And at this point, what I do always, I like to taste the liquid, just a drop, to check on the salt content. That is good. And what's making it good is the fish stock. The flavor is there, all those vegetables and the fish stock together. I like this, a healthy dish finally for me. So as this cooks down, I'll be adding more. I sat down for about 6-7 minutes, and I'll do it again now. I've added more, and I raised the flame because I'm getting close to this being finished, and I want all of the fish stock flavor in there to make it as strong as possible. I don't want to have any fish stock left over. So I'm raising the flame, and the worst thing that could happen is that I would have to add a few drops of water. But at least all the flavor of the fish stock is in there. So now you just, after about 15 so minutes, just take a few granules. Very, very, very firm. So now I'm going to reduce this quickly, because in the next 5 minutes, this might be ready. Well, we're going to finish this up now. That is just the way I wanted it. And the only herb that's in there actually is the bay leaves that were in the fish stock. I like the flavor of everything that's in here. I didn't want to add any herbs. Sometimes people go crazy with herbs. All this natural flavor in here is great. And look at that, how dry we are now. I do have left in there about 1.5 ounces of fish stock, which I could put in here, but you know what? That's what's left. Maybe I'll just drink it. I'll put some. Working with a very high flame. About another 1.5 to 2 minutes. This is done. And I got to use all the fish stock, and it's not soupy. And the rice is cooked. Let's see how that is. That's great. It's very firm. So the amount that I used for this worked out. 1 quart for the 1 cup. But you have to remember all the vegetables give off water too. So if you change the recipe at all and you add other vegetables that are very watery, it'll just change things a little bit. And the scallions are going to be for the garnish on top. And if you must have cheese in there, go right ahead. Color looks good. You still see the zucchini, which disintegrates very easily if you overcook it. So I like to see it. And the fish and everything, lower the flame, because we are done. Actually, I'm kind of happy with this, that everything that I put in there worked out. Now, if I was cooking this for people, well, I would add butter, and I would add heavy cream, even though some people don't think it's right to put heavy cream. I think it's right for the one reason that it tastes good. And that's what cooking is all about. Do whatever you want, as long as it tastes good. There we go. Let's put some on a plate, shut this off, and take a look at it. Use this as an appetizer, or what you have here is enough for, let's see how much I put on here first. For me, that's an appetizer. So you have enough here for about 4 appetizers or 2 main course, which means instead of just going for a half a pound of fish, go for a pound of fish and then sprinkle some all over. It's pretty, it's colorful, and I hope you enjoy it. You know, I always seem to forget something, and that's the avocado. I thought it would go nicely just sitting on top. Now I'm going to enjoy it even more.